Now, of course, this is Arek Val Yavo. This is die but don't sin. This is Arayot. 100% not allowed to go to such a thing. If you look in the book Ech Tov LeYisrael by Rabbi Ephraim Kachlon, he has a whole section about what happens in weddings, whether you're allowed to go to these mixed weddings, Shem Yerachem, whether it's weddings, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, all the same. When you know there's going to be mixed dancing, mixed seating, and all of that stuff. And he has a whole section about the halacha, what's allowed, what's not allowed, but he gives you a few nice chidushim. And once in a while you see in a Jewish world that the problem is not just in a secular world. Secular world, many of them don't really know what the truth is. You see the problem is also in the religious world. You see the avrechim, the bachurim, go to the chatuna, go to the wedding, looking for a shidduch. They're not going because they're that excited about somebody else is getting married. They're excited because hopefully they're going to get married one day. Yeah, but sometimes it's family members, sometimes it's friends, sometimes it's different people. And sometimes somebody tells you, hey, listen, by the way, it's going to be mixed dancing. It's going to be mixed dancing. Now, of course, this is Arek Val Yavo. This is die but don't sin. This is Arayot. 100% not allowed to go to such a thing. Now, what happens if it's someone who knows? Someone who doesn't know, it's different. Someone who knows. Someone who knows, it's not allowed. Savrech goes to kollel, goes to yeshiva. He's religious. And he goes and he wants to go see all of these women that maybe are single, maybe are married. Because he doesn't know who's married, who's single. He doesn't know. Sometimes married, sometimes single, they all look the same. Just the married ones sometimes have a few kids next to them. If they didn't get a babysitter for tonight. Other than that, look the same. So what if he goes? He knows. What if he goes? So, Chelek Chaf Hei. Chaf Hei. He talks about it. He says, בספר חסידים, in the book of חסידים, והאדם שלמד ויודע את הנה מילא ובכל אופן הולך וצופה בנשים, כתב בספר חסידים שלא רק יענש על עצם מה שצופה בנשים, אלא יענש גם על מה שלמד כבר. The Sefer Hasidim is writing, which we mentioned in the previous shurim, who the Sefer Hasidim was. It's one of the Gedolei Ador in previous generations. He says, the one that goes to these mixed weddings, the ones that goes and sees these maybe married, maybe single women, he's going. But he knows he's not allowed to go. He says, not only does he get a punishment for looking at these women, but he gets a punishment, because the sin, obviously everybody gets, but he gets a punishment for all the Torah that he learned. Because he didn't learn to fulfill. He learned for nothing. He learned like you learn math. He learned like you learn history. He learned like the kids go to public school and they learn stuff so they can graduate. No one really is going to become a historian. No one's going to become an expert in European history or in art history, or most people are not going to become mathematicians or English professors. But you learn. Why do you learn? Because you want to graduate. No one is going to become an expert gymnast, but you go to gym class because you want to graduate. No one's going to become a biologist for the most part. Only few. Only few will become statisticians. Only few will become each one of these things. But we all go and we take those classes in school, in high school, in college, and so on. Why? So we can graduate. He says, this guy that learned Torah and learned that you're not allowed to go to these places, he knows it and he still didn't fulfill it. He gets punished for learning. So when you think about it, it's like, now I can get punished even for learning Torah? Shem Yerachem, what happens if I don't learn Torah? So now, when a woman is putting herself in a situation where she becomes part of the sin, she's the one that's wearing a wig, she looks like she's single, and one of these bachurim who can't get over his yetzer hara looks at her, she becomes partner to his crime. This is a serious problem. So when my student told me, Baruch Hashem, these women are taking off wigs, putting kisui rosh on, some of them didn't have anything on, they're putting kisui rosh on, it made me more excited than I've been in months. Because this is mamash, Satan himself is in his avera. So Baruch Hashem, this is very, very good news. Ultimately, the main thing that each and every single one of these women said is that they never knew the truth. No one ever told them. They knew that there's different ways. There's different minagim. There's kisui rosh with the mitpachat and hat, and then there's wig. They knew there's different minagim. But the details, most people don't really delve into things. If I start giving you a shiur, and I start mentioning different verses from the Torah, different pages in the Gemara, different masechto, different sfarim, for the most part, 99 out of 100 people are not going to actually look up the source. They're not going to look up the source. Oh, okay, it's Masechet Tanit, great. Oh, it's Masechet Shabbat, great. Oh, great, it's nice. Looks like he knows what he's talking about. But most people are not going to actually look it up themselves. Few are going to actually look it up. Oh, let me see what else it says. It's with any speaker. When Obama makes a speech and he starts mentioning all types of financial achievements or different rules or different things, then he gets paid $600,000 a speech somehow. People are mamash metumtamim. People are mamash are deteriorating. We're no longer going to have to question whether we came from monkeys anymore. We're going to become monkeys. So they pay this guy $600,000 to give a speech. No one actually looks up what he says other than the newscasters. No one looks it up. Same thing with anyone, any speaker. People don't actually look it up. So when you say, listen, there's minag, Ashkenaz, peah, say wig. Sephardic, it's kisui rosh with a scarf or a hat. That's the general known minag that we know from our forefathers, even though today there's a little bit of both and both. Most people don't look up why. So there's an amazing organization comprised of zealous women in, I believe in Lakewood, it's in New Jersey, called Rosh Pinah, who have been fighting for the truth for the last several years. And Baruch Hashem, we've been able to help them over the last few months, provide them many, many sources to continue publicizing the truth about wigs, and not even necessarily what the minag is and what the minag isn't. Not necessarily who allows it and who doesn't allow it, because in my personal opinion, it doesn't make a difference. If you're looking for an excuse to wear a wig based on halacha, based on like who allowed it, who didn't allow it, there's nothing to talk about. Why? Because you're going to find a way. You're going to find an excuse. The main thing I've personally been focusing on is the fact that to prove that it's 100% avodah zara. And avodah zara, no one can allow. Not even the guy that said that the Lubavitcher Rebbe is a Mashiach while he was still alive. No one can say it's allowed. Avodah zara is avodah zara. So that's one main thing that's very easy to prove. If you just do some market research, and Baruch Hashem we did. So when people find out about this fact, people find out about this disaster, and they love Hashem, sometimes they change right away, sometimes they take time. But either way, they know something has to happen. So the question we're all going to leave ourselves with and move on to the next point is, if Mashiach showed up right now, do I want to wear the really wavy long wig, or do I want to wear the mitpachat?
By offering our hairs, because offering hair itself is most important one. We are offering the beauty itself to the God.